Sefaria, Rambam, Laws of
Oh,
Teshuvah,
we're not doing this. Okay.
3rd chapter.
Oh, very good.
There's
Well, I keep making it print it out. I didn't print it out.
it's okay, you can use your phone.
What are we doing?
Questionable.
Rambam, what?
Laws of Teshuvah, the 3rd chapter.
Rambam? With an
My
M?
wife asked me the other night. We were learning, and she said, "So what would be if Kabbalah and Chassidut never came to the world?"
Ooh.
I didn't want to answer the question.
We would be peasants.
So what I told her was that if you were to teach Judaism without Kabbalah and Chassidut to somebody who lives in the year 2018, they would think that you're talking about a different religion. Because unfortunately, the religion that we follow today is I'm not guilty of this, but the religion that some people follow today has very little to do with what Judaism actually says. And this is a problem, it's a recurring theme. I'm not hating on any particular group or person. And when you go to our sources and you look, what do things actually mean? What is this definition? You start to define your terms, you realize that many of the terms that we use are incorrect. So let me ask you a very simple question. What is a tzaddik?
Righteous? Pious? Masochist? Did I use up all my
According to
answers?
Tanya.
Yeah, not according to
Not a
Tanya.
bad movie.
Thank you, sorry.
What is the definition of a tzaddik? What is a righteous person?
What is the righteous
Somebody who overcomes Yetzirah.
That's a righteous person?
I don't know.
Somebody who follows
doesn't have
what
a
Hashem
Yetzirah?
said.
That a righteous person? It's easy to be righteous if you don't have Yitzhak.
Righteous is when you justify your actions in a manner that meets your own criteria for the bar you've set for yourself.
Boy, we have a lot more righteous
No.
people than we would think. In that definition,
No,
so
that's
Hitler
all
Maxwell was
relative.
righteous.
Good
I mean, he self-defined as righteous. What does it mean a tzaddik? To be a tzaddik, what do you have to do?
Yeah, but I
You
can't
follow
decide if
Torah,
he's a
you do what
tzaddik.
Hashem said.
So anyone who follows Torah and does what Hashem says is a tzaddik?
Well,
I
if
can
you
just
do-
pull names
if
out of
you,
my hat.
Okay,
Can there be
Yeah, I
a
don't even know.
tzaddik who's not Jewish? Yes.
Of course, yeah.
if you have
Not according to modern Jewish teaching, but according to classic Judaism, of course.
so your life you have Yirut Hashem, and your life is centered around learning, around doing.
You're going to need a very technical definition because you have to know how to define a person. What is a tzaddik? What makes a person evil? That's right there. Maybe
Someone
it'll be more
whose
passionate.
sins
Who's very
exceed his
distant
merits.
from
He's
Hashem.
wicked.
So anyone who's distant from Hashem is evil?
Someone who
No.
someone who hurts others
Someone who hurts others is evil.
is evil.
Okay.
Someone who's a tzaddik.
Is that all? Is that all you need though? To like, can you not hurt other people and still be evil?
Yes.
So then that's not the yardstick that
So
we should
like
measure by.
victimless crime or a crime with victims, is that where we're going?
It's usually a crime. Usually,
We'll
because
mention
always a
Hitler in Mashal Zichron.
Right.
Somebody that makes his will.
Hitler
God's
did a
will.
lot of good things.
no, he didn't.
He sure he did. Hitler was an animal rights activist.
Yeah, but he's crazy.
No. Is animal rights, is it a Jewish value?
He had a dog. He loved his dog.
Are animal rights a Jewish value?
It depends. It's all relative.
It's not.
Well, in terms of shechita,
Wait, what's this going?
okay, that's not directly animal rights. No, it's not.
Yes, a tzaddik is commanded to feed
It's
the
not?
cats before
I think
he
it is.
gives his own
You
breakfast.
can't rip a limb from its animal.
Okay.
Putting an ox
Then
with a mule.
Yeah, more.
Right.
Give me more.
You feed your animals before you
Are
have
you
your
allowed to hurt
breakfast.
animals?
The nest,
No.
the bird, and the
Are you allowed to hurt
eggs.
an animal?
Shliach hatam?
No.
No.
No, it's a biblical prohibition.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a Jewish value. Take care of animals.
You can't
So
just get rid of
Hitler
a
did
tree for
mitzvot.
no reason.
Even one mitzvah you do makes you a good person.
I did, gewalt.
Yeah.
Isn't that Sadiq the one that falls and get up again?
So you were what Nachman was saying before. Someone who overcomes his Yetzirah.
Oh.
You want to follow a tzaddik that falls? He says, yesterday I did all these avilot. Oh my gosh, I would never think these avilot. And then today he got up again. Now he's gonna be your tzaddik.
Sounds like a loser to me.
One definition is of if your majority of.
Oh, thank you. Finally, someone helped me out here. Do tzaddikim do things that are wrong?
Yes, everybody does.
Can a tzaddik make a mistake?
Yes.
They can make
Moshe Rabbeinu.
Do you understand here how influenced everyone in this room is by Kabbalah and Chassidut?
I'm
Because
cheating
you're not
'cause
able
I'm
to
looking-
think straight.
I'm cheating
Oh.
from inside.
Yeah, because
David
there've
Amelech,
been
King
fed
David.
definitions that I don't know, like. what
Nachman,
the-
do you know we added a special chapter of
I think
Tehillim in the Mother
it's-
Elul?
It's risky
Know what I'm talking
to
about?
call anyone a
Oh,
I
tzaddik
don't.
until
You
he
don't.
dies.
27.
Oh,
So
so
you're
all
like a Catholic,
posthumously.
meaning
Do you
we
know
have
Rav
to make
Shalom?
sainthood after they die.
Do you know Rav Shalom from Israel? Rav Shalom, what's his last name?
So I don't talk about any specific people.
Like the Russian
On camera.
princesses, the four
No,
princesses
the
who were
reason why I
killed.
say that is because if we say that this person is a tzaddik, and then they do something really bad, that's really confusing.
So you
can't
right? 'Cause
undo
they were
it?
tzaddik. But to look at someone live their whole life, and then this person die, and then we could look at them and say, did they always try to treat people the best that they can? Were they always honest in their dealings? Were they always kind to animals, kind to
But
the
I have a nitya leaning like that, which is I always trust people once they're dead. When they're still alive, you never know. You never know what could happen. You
That's
never know
my-
which
that's my
scandal's
point.
gonna
They
show
Could have
up. With,
dementia, regress to childhood.
That's my
What
point.
what about someone that just does what like, this is like, how do I put it? Like, their life is just what Hashem wants them to do. They're just like channeling Hashem through them. Like if you look at the patriarchs, or something, there's kind of just
our patriarchs didn't struggle.
they
Sure
did.
they
They
did.
did have struggle, but they
So, well,
but
so
they
we
didn't.
need to establish a
They
point.
didn't like
Righteous people struggle.
They didn't
And they make
I don't think
mistakes.
Abraham
question. I
was a
mean, they not
tzaddik.
question God, but they kind of like trusted in God. They kind of
Wait, don't tell me what they did. Tell me. I'm asking you, did they struggle?
Yeah.
They made mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They did avirot.
They bargained with God.
When you talk about people at tzaddik, this is a tzaddik, but he does avirot. What do they say to you? Not a tzaddik.
He,
I could be a
he
tzaddik
fell
and
and
he
he
does
tripped.
avirot.
They say he tripped, he'll get up again. It was a faux pas.
Yeah. That's what they'll tell you today.
Yeah.
They judge people that
I'm
favorably.
sorry.
If you mess up in your life, people judge you favorably. They just tripped. It's okay. They'll be
I
good.
mean, if it turns into, if you use it to then learn and better yourself, and then all those avirot become mitzvahs.
Now,
So
what's the
it's
Tanya's definition of tzaddik? You know?
somebody that's not a rasha, not a benoni, somebody that's like not tempted by.
I mean, they have no evil inclination.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
They're like
exactly.
beyond
Yeah.
good. They're
Yeah.
just everything
That's
they do
why
is good.
that's why animals
Super
are.
That
rare.
definition directly goes against what King David says. With all respect, and then the Baal Tanya
Yeah.
means something specific. By the way, he's talking from a Kabbalistic perspective. He's defining these terms not according to halakha, but yes, according to Kabbalah. I'm not here to teach Kabbalah tonight. David HaMelech says, now in the chapter we read for Elul, you have a siddur? Someone have a siddur?
How could you be a human being without evil inclinations?
No, forget it, it's
You were
okay.
created
It says,
to have choice.
"En tzaddik ba'aretz asher ya'aseh tov v'lo yicheta." There is no righteous person on earth who does good and never does averot.
Right.
There's no such thing. It doesn't exist. That's what David HaMelech says. Hashem put this is a part of Tehillim.
Yeah.
So then every righteous person has to be able to make mistakes. So then what makes Hitler a rasha, chas v'shalom, and a tzaddik who makes mistakes a tzaddik? Where do you draw the line between mistakes, averot, and mitzvot? Where?
They
Cheated.
put their
It
will
says in
above
the
Hashem's
chapter.
will?
What?
If
What?
his
They
wicked
put their will
acts
above Hashem's will?
outweigh,
That's how do you codify that? What is that?
if his wicked acts exceed
Oh,
the
there
one
you go.
kind thing he's done.
So you and Marlene are on the same page.
Well, I cheated. I looked from the inside.
Where did you find
She
it?
just did it on Avera, but she admitted. So I don't know if that's I'm not a priest or do a confession.
That's because I don't succumb to evil inclinations.
Oh. A tzaddik is a person who the majority of their actions are good. There's nobody who's perfect,
We'll find
but
it.
the majority of them, the majority of what they do, is it good? When they make a mistake, is that a mistake or is that part of who they are?
I think that it's
When
yeah.
when an evil person does something good, is that part of who they are or is that a mistake?
It's an action. It's not an identity. It's an action.
Very good. According to the Rambam, kol echad ve'echad mibnei Adam, every single human being, yesh lo zechuyot ve'avonot, has merits and demerits. Mi shezechuyotav yiterot al avonotav, anyone who their zechuyot, their merits are more than their demerits, tzaddik is a righteous person.
Oh, it's right there.
Umi she'avonotav yiterot al zechuyotav, and anyone who their demerits are greater than their merits. I mean, they do things that are bad. So many, they also do good things. We don't care about the good things. Rasha, that person is evil. Mechza lemechza, if a person is 50% evil, 50% good, what is he?
It's just mediocre.
It's a tie.
Benoni.
It's a
There was
tie.
this Benoni. A Benoni is a person who you can't really tell if they're totally good, totally bad.
Nishtaheh, nishtaheh.
The verdict is
Are
still
they mysterious
out.
per se?
Wait, what?
Mysterious, or probably most of the
Mysterious.
people we know in the
Right,
world.
Tanya says pretty much everyone's a Benoni.
Pretty much everyone is a Benoni. But the Tanya's definition of Benoni is different. What's the Tanya's definition of Benoni?
Somebody that tries to be a tzaddik, but still has tempted by the.
So
by
understand
the
that the Tanya's Benoni is the Rambam's tzaddik.
tzaddik, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Say that again.
So
The
the
Tanya's
standards are
Benoni is
Is
the
the-
Rambam's tzaddik.
Tanya's Benoni is your list. Oh, interesting.
Start. the Tanya has started from a place where there aren't any people who are like that.
Correct. I'm going to tell you the truth. Rav Kook, alav shalom, in one of his, it's not a biography, but he wrote a lot of poems to himself, like songs to his own soul. Rav Kook writes that one of the most embarrassing things he feels, the most embarrassing moments he has, is when he reads about righteous people. Because it makes him feel like he's so not righteous. Like, it makes him feel, you know, you read those like art scroll biographies, which are not true anyways, but you open them, you read them, like, this one was 6 days old, nursing from his mother, saying the Mishnah by heart, you know, like that kind of thing. Yeah, right. It's like, and then you look at yourself like, then I never opened the Mishnah in my life. You feel like there's no hope. There's no chance in the world that I'm going to be righteous.
They made matzah in Auschwitz.
Sometimes when you put the standards too high, instead of inspiring people to do more, you actually crush people to the point where they don't want to try.
True.
It's for this reason, as I'm not a Chabad rabbi, I'm a Sephardic rabbi, I can say what I say. It's for this reason that I suggest that tzaddikim should study Tanya. And for regular human beings not to. Because sometimes when you see, oh my gosh, so a tzaddik is a person who doesn't even think about doing things that are bad. And I'm sure that a Chabad rabbi would sit here and debate me about it. I'm positive. I'm not here to say that I'm right. But this is the reason why I'm teaching the Rambam, the laws of Teshuvah, because it's much easier for me to convince a person, hey, you could be a tzaddik by making the majority of your actions better. Just be 51% good. You could still do avirot, but you'll come out righteous. Then for me to try to convince a person, all the things that you do wrong, just throw them out the window.
So it motivates somebody to not dwell over all their shortcomings and strive to create not a balance and be a Binonian stuck in that in-between place, the twilight zone, but rather to tip the scales.
You want to be on one side of the scale.
Yes.
That's what you want to be.
So you don't have to think all the times I wasn't sure and I ate the wrong food or whatever.
Is it gold or it's like to avoid?
When I can convince a person that they're overwhelmingly positive, the rest of the decisions they make are going to be positive.
Yeah.
Now, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, I don't quote often. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov writes that when you see an evil person, you should try to find something good about them, and then tell them that you're really good at this. It's something that's it's a commendable trait about you. He says because from that little bit you can cause this person to become righteous. Why? When a person says, I messed up, I'm always down, I'm always making bad decisions, the next time they're faced with a good decision or a bad decision, imagine this. People come to my business and they're Rabbi Yoni holds you any things that are without a kosher symbol that are still kosher. Imagine just for 1 minute. People who know that, when they drink their orange juice without the OU on it, that they're eating treif. So when it comes time to make a decision between eating in a not kosher restaurant or skipping over that, hey, listen, anyways I drink not kosher orange juice, so I might as well eat pig.
You're already screwed up.
I'm already messed up, so why bother trying? Yeah. And instead of inspiring a person to be better, it actually causes a person to make poor decisions.
Right.
And when a person says, listen, people would say that I don't keep kosher. I drink orange without a hechsher. I'm going to buy flour tortillas without a kosher. There are all kinds of evil things in the world. They're really evil crimes, by the way. This should be our biggest problems in the Jewish community. And when it comes time to make a decision, so I'm going to keep kosher or not, but even if I don't observe Shabbat the way maybe Shulchan Aruch wants me to, or even if I don't believe in Baruch Hu the way the Rambam wants me to, but my decision-making process is positive, so I want to make a positive decision. I'm not so far down this hole that I can't come out of it. And that's what we mean that who said tzaddik 7 times? Mario. When it says that a tzaddik falls 7 times and gets back up again, that's what it means. The difference between an evil person and a righteous person is a righteous person makes the decision that even when I fall, I will get back up. The evil person says I'm going to fall. Both the righteous and the evil people fall. Both of them fall. Both of them make mistakes. The difference? The evil person says, listen, I already got dirty, so why bother getting up? And the righteous person says, no, I got to get up again. When we sing Lechadudim, Hitnari me'afar, kumi, livshi b'dei tevatachami, shake off the dust, arise, get up, dress your clothing. Sometimes you have those days where you wake up in the morning and you're so depressed you just don't want to get out of bed. You just don't want to, like, my life, I owe people money, my job is not happening the way I want it to happen, my wife hates me, my kids don't want to live, whatever story you have, whatever tzarot you have. He says, it's just not worth it for me to get out of bed today. Sometimes getting out of bed and putting on your nice clothing as if you were going to go to work, and eating a breakfast as if you had some money, and walking out of the street as if you had some pride, sometimes that's the best way to start your day. It's not an illusion, it's not false. It's you have to be in a certain framework in order to make proper decisions. And when you're stuck in a rut, you just can't.
science has borne that out, by the way. There's
Really?
some very interesting books about people like fake it till you make it.
Really?
People do that. They'll actually like, even at the hormonal level and like brain waves, like the people that like are faking it will start to produce the same levels of like reduced stress hormones and different brain waves, like the people who actually
Baruch Hashem.
have got it together.
But those hormones don't pay your bills, by the way, just letting you know.
Yeah.
But they can get you to the place where you are now. You'll find this in the Talmud. Talmud in Masechet Berachot, the Gemara says there was this famous rabbi and he got sick and he was down, and one of the other Chachamim come and reaches out a hand and lifts him up out of his depression, and he gets up and he's so excited. And then you see the same Chacham goes and lifts another person out of his depression. You say, how did the one who was depressed, why wasn't he able to lift himself out? Because sometimes you're not in the place where you can help yourself. There's a famous story about there's a guy who comes to a psychologist and says, I need help. I'm a really sad person. Every day I wake up, I'm thinking about killing myself. There's nothing in my life that's good. I look at the world and it's black. He says, I have just the cure for you. There's this famous clown of Vienna. Go talk to the clown of Vienna. He can cure it. Just him, how happy he is and how exciting he is. Just go to him, and being around him will heal your depression. And the guy burst out crying. And the psychologist says, why are you crying? I just gave you a solution. He says, you don't understand, doctor. I am the clown of Vienna.
I saw that coming.
Now this feelings, you can't. The rabbis say, En hachavush motzi tatzmo mibet hasur. The one who's in prison, even if he has the keys, can't open the lock because it's on the other side. I can't get myself out. You need someone else to get you out. And when it comes to this time of Teshuvah, there are a lot of people that in this season, they are on a crusade of depressing people. They will tell you how bad you are. And I'll tell you, sometimes when a person's heart stops, you a defibrillator and it gets their heart started again. But sometimes you hold that defibrillator down too long and you just kill the person. And the truth is that it's better not to use the defibrillator. You don't want to have to jumpstart your car every time you turn around. That tells you there's something wrong with your car. Sorry, Dad, I'm not saying anything. You want a car that can start on its own. Sometimes you jumpstart it, but that's not the point. That's not the hope. You don't always want to be doing that. You don't want a path to godliness, a path to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that requires you to be beaten into a pulp. If that's the path that you're going down, it's self-harm, like any other type of self-harm. And there are people in this season, and I see them, and I hear them, they're on YouTube, and they're on Facebook, and they're all talking about the Averot, and how are you going to stand in front of the king, and all your shame. I say, oh, you can stand in front of the king, you can be afraid, you can be shameful. I am coming here as a follower of the Rambam. I'm a Rambamist. I am a tzaddik, I am righteous. The majority of my actions are good. I'm coming to Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim not as an evil person. I'm coming to Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim as a person who struggles, like every other human being who struggles. Don't hate me for my struggle. There's a nice license plate I saw. It was like a license plate frame. It says, "Don't hate me because I sin differently than you." And it's a very telling statement. Well, you think you're perfect? And those who are going to look at me, you all have things that are wrong with you. Are you going to judge me because of that? You're going to turn your nose at me? You're going to frown at me? Who are you? But inside of your life, you don't have struggles. I also have struggles. The difference between me and another person is that I want to overcome my struggles. And so long as I'm on a journey, and that journey's taking me to a positive place, why are you getting in my way? There's a quote that says, those who say it cannot be done should get out of the way of those who are doing it. You tell me I'm a nothing and I'm a nobody and I can't. Listen, I'm doing it. Maybe it's happening at a slower pace than you want, but who are you to judge me? We come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we're saying, Hashem, we're certain that we're good people. The Kabbalists actually suggest something like this. Mm-hmm. They say that it's not so much that Hashem decides, are you going to live another year or not live another year. It's up to you on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim to show Hashem. My last year wasn't perfect. It wasn't great. Hashem, let's be honest. And we list our avirot in painstaking detail. There are some things that we say in Yom Kippurim we'll never admit the rest of the year. But we're saying, Hashem, I want to show you that I'm the type of person that if you give me another year, I'm going to become better. So it's worth it for you to give me another year. I'm signing myself into the book of life. I'm signing myself into a place of goodliness, of good. But you have to make that decision. You have to believe in yourself. There are people that you see them and they're so convinced that they're bad. They're so convinced they're wrong. They're so convinced that there's nothing you can do. You can't save a person from himself.
It's a really interesting question. It's interesting to me. Back to the juice example.
Orange.
Orange juice. So if hypothetically
you can say orange juice. We know you're in a journey. It's a struggle.
Okay, orange.
Orange.
Yes.
So when you're drinking mitzvahs and you got this situation where you describe the people, it would make them feel that it would be more okay to go to a non-kosher restaurant because, hey, I'm already having treif juice, I'm going to go eat pig. What is the difference between them and myself, where when I came from where I came from and now I'm here, my first reaction was, Rabbi Yoni makes me feel more proud of being Jewish than ever before. I've never felt pride in anything basic that I do. So I do everything with more joy now because I know that it's right, even though I never knew it was right.
Mario, we're getting this on a promotional ad over here.
This is really interesting. Like, I want to understand what.
So
it's not my wiring.
There's always this
there's
conversation
a
of,
situation.
are we lowering the standard to make people feel good? This is always an accusation. You just lower the standard so that everybody who doesn't keep kosher is not keeping kosher. And that's not... Then there's the opposite, where you've raised the standard to the point where really, unless you're OCD, nobody's keeping kosher.
I
right?
felt like
this is the,
just because
this
I
is
don't
the-
eat a cheeseburger, I'm already kadosh over here in this house, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't do anything. I was just born.
So with this, you always have to then go back and find an objective place with which you can rule. Where's your ruler? And the ruler is going to be halakha. And if halakha doesn't have something against what you're doing, so why are you not making such a big deal out of it? Like, why is this now a problem? And what we try to push very hard, it's not that you can't choose to go on higher levels of kedusha and refrain from things. You can. Every person can do that. But by lifting the standard so high that it's not a viable option for most people, you have to understand, we live in a world today where you have some 13, 14 million Jews. Of them, 2 million maybe who identify as being Torah observant. We talk about the Holocaust killing 6 million Jews. We talk about the assimilation and intermarriage affecting 500,000 Jews. What about the Judaism that got rid of 12 million Jews? That's twice what Hitler did in Mashmotzah. No, it's not death. I'm not here to compare. I'm not using the Holocaust here. But the number. There are 12 million Jews today whose grandparents or great-grandparents once went to Bet Knesset and once kept Shabbat and ate kasher and whatever. And we've created this Judaism where they enjoyed being part of that Judaism. I mean, it was the kind of thing where, you know what, I don't know if my great-grandmother didn't take the bones out of the fish or the fish. I don't even know if she knew that you couldn't take bones out of fish. I'm not sure. I don't think she went to anywhere. She really loved Shabbat, and she really loved making fish for the holidays, and she raised a family, people who really love being Jewish, until they met the Jews of today, and they decided, if this is Judaism, then I don't want to be caught anywhere near it. So when we've created a Judaism that has alienated 12 million Jews, we have to stop and say, hey, before we blame the reform, and before we blame assimilation, and before we blame the secular street, and before we blame whatever, the iPhones, or whatever people want to blame, be look at yourself. How viable of an option is the Judaism that you're peddling? Unless you live in a certain community, in a certain ghetto, living a certain life, in a certain thing, and dress a certain way, and eat a certain way, and pray a certain way, and observe a certain way, then I'm not Jewish. So why would I bother sticking around? I have a family member. She's not from my side. She's my wife's side. And she was always the black sheep in the family. She pushed the religious envelope a little far for some people. But, she used to travel all the way back to the Jewish neighborhoods to get herself chalav Yisrael, milk and cheese, because even though she wasn't doing other, for her, this was an important value she got from home. Until one day, one of her uncles said, you don't keep kosher anyways, so why are you bothering? And that's when Shabbat went, and that's when kosher went, and that's when going to synagogue went. That's when, because this idiot, in his desire to be such a zealot, told a person that I don't value anything that you do. And if you don't value anything that I do, so why should I bother trying? Now, the truth is that it's a mistake to listen to a stupid uncle. That's also a mistake. But I'm not expecting anything different. I would do the same thing. If you're telling me that nothing that I do is worth it to you. People say, how do you let people that drive on Shabbat into your synagogue? Let people come to Bet Knesset because they want to have a religious experience. What kind of person is going to throw a person out of Bet Knesset who wants to have a religious experience? How are you going to say, get out of here, we don't want you here, you're not good enough for us? Who are you? And then you say the same people who throw them out are then going to complain, look at all these Jews that are not observant, we got to start outreach organizations. Don't you please stay away from outreach, stay away from people like that. You're the reason why they ran away in the first place, don't you understand? Now you want to come to me and fundraise that I should pay you to go bring them back? I could have helped you, just stop talking, put duct tape is much cheaper.
I came for the treif juice.
You came for the treif juice. And the Rambam is trying to set a very attainable level of religiosity. You are a tzaddik if the majority of your actions are good. And don't fool yourself. Don't think that just because you do a little bit of good that justifies everything else you do in your life. If you do just a little bit of good and the majority of your decisions are bad, you're a rasha. That's the, and every person can change this. The whole concept of teshuvah is that you're not stuck in stone. I was by the doctor's office today, and it says, had a picture of a tree, and it says, "Blossom where you are planted." It was a nice statement, and I think a lot of people feel that way. Like, this is the situation I have, and this is where I've got to be, so I'm just going to make the best of it. But the truth is that you're not trees. You can just get up and walk somewhere else. Trees can't do that.
I'm a dandelion.
You can say, listen, I was planted here, but I'm not a tree, so Baruch Hashem, I move somewhere else. That's something that every person does. In your life, you've done that before. Relationships you were in that you got out of, homes that you were involved in, got out of, communities you were part of, you got out of, jobs you were in with bad bosses, you got out of. Your whole life you do this. So why suddenly when it comes to who you are, the essence of who you are, does a person say, Teshuvah is not attainable. I just can't do it. I can't change who I am. You've done it with everything else in your life.
Well, it is the hardest thing to change.
For sure. Hard is yes, things do take hard work.
If you surround yourself by people who make it hard, it's going to be insurmountable. But if you surround yourself by people who already make you feel like what you're already doing without trying is exalted, it's a whole different experience.
Yeah.
Mario, you moved here from Madeira? Was moving easy?
No.
Get to know new people.
Yeah.
Dad, you
So
moved to
over-
this neighborhood a few years ago? Was
Yeah.
it easy?
No, it's like
every-
challenges with-
Everybody who moves somewhere has to deal with change. With I don't have the framework that I had. I don't have the neighbors that I had. I don't have the house that I had. Whatever. I don't have the community that I like. Whatever story would have been. But you overcome that because now I made a decision to move. We're not afraid of difficulty. But just because things are difficult doesn't mean we give up. Difficult means that I have to say, Teshuvah is attainable. And I think this is the key teaching here. When you start to teach Judaism as unattainable, you can't do it, you're not able to approach it, then most people say, I'm still going to try anyways. If I only get halfway up Mount Everest, then I'm happy. No, most people just decide, like me, that they're going to stay in San Diego and watch YouTube videos of other people go up Mount Everest. Why should I try? That's what most people do. So people do the same thing. They say, if Judaism is so hard to be a part of, so then, when I'm feeling the inspiration, I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch a video about some rabbi speaking about nonsense. But the rest of my life, the rest of my day, the rest of my night, because I'm not a good person anyways, because I judge myself based on false Jewish guidelines and parameters, I now make myself a rasha, and then I say, it's not worth it. It's not worth trying to climb Mount Everest if I know that I'm never going to make it to the top. And it's not, okay, so now look for a lower mountain. You got to remember that Har Sinai, our rabbis tell us, it was the lowest mountain. And those who learn that piece of Talmud understand this very clearly. Har Sinai is not just the lowest mountain because it's the most humble of them. We all heard that story in kindergarten. It was the most humble of the mountains, it didn't have arrogance. No, Har Sinai was not the lowest of the mountains because it was the most humble. Har Sinai was the lowest of the mountains because Hashem wanted to show the Jewish people, you can also climb this mountain. The Torah says in Devarim, this Torah is not far away from you. Lo me'ever layamhi, it's not over the ocean. It's not across the desert. The Torah is attainable. Har Sinai is a low mountain. It's a short mountain. You can climb this mountain. Don't get confused when people tell you Mount Everest is our mountain. Mi aleh behar Hashem, mi yakum mikom kodsho. So David HaMelech, who's going to go up to go onto this mountain? Naki chapayim uvar levav. Asher lo nasa l'ashar nafshi v'lo nishba limimah. So a person, David HaMelech says, a person who is an honest person. A good person can climb this mountain. Evil people, as big as their kippot are going to be, or their beards are going to be, or the fact that they don't drink orange juice that owe you on it, that's not going to help you get up the mountain of Hashem.
Do you think there's a chairlift?
Up there, for sure, there's a chairlift. But it's true. Don't laugh. A chairlift up the mountain is also true. Sometimes when we can't do things alone, that's why we have a community. That's why we have Chachamim. There's a famous story. Perhaps I'll end with this story. There's a famous Hasidic Rebbe. I started with maybe something that people might think I was not fond of Hasidut.
You bookended with
There's
Hasidus.
a famous
You gotta fix that.
Hasidic Rebbe. His name was the Beluzhever Rebbe.
Beluzhever.
I once had a roommate who was a Beluzhever
I know how
Hasid.
to spell it.
Rabbi Israel Spira was his name. And the Beluzhever, listen, I don't know if the story's true. I wasn't there. The Beluzhever Rebbe was in a concentration camp. And he survived the war. He came to New York and started his Hasid over again. He used to give out oranges. This was like his thing. You see a lot of pictures of him with oranges. I don't know why. I'm not sure. Orange juice. It has something to do with gold today.
It's a good marketing campaign.
The Beluzhever Rebbe was standing behind him in line, and then there was a guy who was a Jewish guy, didn't believe in Hashem. And he tells him, Rebbe, where's your God now? Like, now we're standing. They were lining up. The Nazis had made them dig a pit, and they were gonna make whoever can jump over the other side of the pit is gonna live. Whoever's not, we're gonna bury them alive. This is what was happening. I think today or yesterday they arrested one of the last Nazi collaborators in the United States. It should be
Just read
the
about
Jewish community should say Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. It's not enough they arrested him and deported him, but at least that. At least we have a mitzvah in the Torah. Ubi'arta hara mikirbecha. You must remove the evil from your midst. This country today or yesterday, whatever it was, did that mitzvah. They removed an evil. The right to live is not obvious for them. They should not be able to. The criminal of the greatest kind. You read the stories of the Holocaust. It's not known. They're not for another time, another class. They used to make the people jump over the pit. I mean, it's a huge thing, and the point was that nobody's going to make it to the other side.
They were shooting them as they were jumping.
So the
like
Blue
birds
Rebbe,
flying.
the Blue Rebbe said, "Listen, before I jump, I'm just going to close my eyes and leave me alone with your where's your God now?" And he closes his eyes, he jumps, he opens it up, he's on the other side. 2 seconds later, lands the guy behind him in line. And the Blue Rebbe turns to him and he says, "Hold on, I know how I got here. I jumped over this pit, and when I closed my eyes, I held on to my father's tzitzit, who held on to his grandfather's tzitzit, who held on to his great-grandfather's tzitzit, all the way till, and they swung me over to the other side. But you, what were you holding on to?" He said, "Rabbi, I was holding on to your tzitzit."
Aww.
And it could be the story wasn't true. It just meant to teach an idea, and that is, yeah, sometimes a person can say, and we don't leave a lot of room in our community for people like this. In Baruch Hashem, in like traditional Sephardic communities like in Israel, you'll find that this concept exists. That people say, "Rabbi, listen, I'm not always going to be the person in the synagogue. You're not going to see me always. I'm not the one who's always going to wear a kippah. But when I need to jump over pits, I'm going to come back here. This is my place. This is where I hold on to. I need a community. I need a chacham, and I need a person to help me jump over those struggles. And yes, it would be great if we could always see them in the Beit Knesset, but there's also room for the person who says, I can't do this alone, and I can't even do it full time. But on the time that I can, I know the right place to go to. And we as a community have to always create a space for people like that to also join us. That's what we do on Yom Kippur. We allow anyone to come pray with us, not just those Beit Knesset who have memberships. You have to buy tickets, and it's not a movie theater. It's a Beit Knesset. Oh, but there aren't enough chairs? No, that's why sometimes you stand, or you sit on the floor, or you stand in the doorway. This is a place that has to be
right?
approached by everybody. And B'ezrat Hashem, I'm sure that as we continue learning Hilchot Teshuvah, you'll realize Teshuvah is not a difficult thing. It takes work, but it's not unattainable. When we can attain it, I'm certain that this holiday season will bless us all with a Shana Tova U'Metukah.